You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Billy, do you know anything about Operation Blooming Onion or Operation Boomerang or when Stugotz is going to be back? We were warned that he was going to be in Australia, right?
Well, that was nice of someone to tell you, because I had no idea that this was happening. I was told that he was leaving after Monday's show, and then Monday comes, and I woke up to an email at 10:30 saying, never mind, he's not going to be in today. So I literally don't know where in the world he is at this moment. And we recorded Godless Football last Thursday, and I thought had planned out this week's episode, and at no point was it mentioned that Australia was in play. So
Down under.
Good use of all you know about Australia. Excellent work.
On the Bobby. I love Australia. Never been. I love a bloomin' onion as
He's
well.
a thespian, Dan.
Yeah. Why is he there?
That's how you'd star in a movie, right there. That with that kind of alertness, you would be Daniel Day-Lewis. You would be.
He's not actually there either.
He's a pretty good actor.
No, you know how Stugotz is. Like, I think I'm going to Australia. Okay, cool. You want to tell us when? I don't know. Probably going to Syracuse first.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you know your traditional Miami to Syracuse.
What's he going to
You gotta go
Syracuse?
north to go south.
What's he going
Lax.
to? Wait,
Lax. He's going up there for Lax.
So,
Oh, yeah.
he has a daughter that goes to Syracuse.
Yes, but that daughter's in Australia.
I know that. That's why I was wondering why he's going there. He's going to Syracuse to watch his other daughter that doesn't go to Syracuse.
For Lax.
I love this as Operation Lax because I imagine he's just going to be doing lacrosse championships for
Right,
a
and
while
relaxing.
there now. And, right.
Yeah.
Operation Lax.
So high.
Putting the lax in not working very hard. But we don't know where he is, and Greg Cody sits in the seat, but he's afflicted with some of the same poisons on thinking he can do everything.
What if Stugotz accidentally found himself in a Brittany Griner Russia situation in Australia? Where he didn't realize he couldn't just do whatever the hell he wanted in Australia, and then he gets arrested or detained.
Didn't that happen to Stallone and Johnny Depp? But didn't it happen to Stallone? Johnny Depp for bringing an animal into the country, and Stallone for throwing steroids off of a balcony in Australia while the authorities closed in on it.
Yeah, but Stallone, his plan was effective in that they could not catch him with the performance-enhancing drugs.
Because he was just throwing them off the balcony?
Yes. Well, allegedly.
Australia, chill. Respectfully to the people of Australia and Morgan and all of those. It's a country of criminals. Okay?
What? No.
Whoa!
That's factually true.
What?
Whoa!
That's a fact.
Well, then
was a
if every
prison
company,
colony.
then every country is.
No. This colony was created with. Didn't we just send a bunch of criminals to Australia? Oh, we don't know what to do with them over there.
The
You just
intention was a
found this
prison
giant
colony.
island over here, and you guys figure it out. Is that not what happened?
Yeah, but it also happened down here in Miami. Mariel boat lift.
What?
Sure.
There were people that
Those
were
weren't
already there.
criminals. The Mariel boat lift. Those are people.
were many.
There were some, but they
there
weren't.
were
They
many.
weren't.
There
They
were
weren't
many.
all criminals.
Okay.
There was.
Let's not paint with a broad brush, Billy.
There's people that came here in the
You
Mariel boat
swiped
lift.
out an entire continent.
Yeah, but they're not going to hear this until tomorrow or yesterday. I don't know how that works.
Billy, yes, Fidel Castro emptied his prisons.
He did, yes, but other people came along with it. It wasn't
Beforehand.
like
That's correct.
yeah, criminals
Well,
that
you,
were
you
sent.
see the issues with painting with a broad brush.
Yes,
I didn't.
you did. You very much did.
I did
You
not.
did, yes.
You, did.
And
You
the-
said
and the
all of
Australian-
Australia was criminals. That's the broadest brush.
I said respectfully.
You
that-
offended like a few million people. That's all.
But
They're
they're
not going to hear this.
going to hear this yesterday, and they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, it'll be
right.
aggregated.
Future.
All right.
No, they already heard it.
Oh.
Well, I haven't heard anything, so I'm fine. If they heard it and I haven't heard pushback, we're good.
You know, that's actually a good point.
Thank
It
you.
is not a good point. Before we go any further here, because there are a number of things I have to get to. I have to get to Boldest Take, and I'm really happy to see that this has finally happened. I know it didn't work at the All-Star game. Adam Silver's like, hey, can you guys try? Can you guys show some enthusiasm? And then LeBron's like, I don't even want to dress for the team picture. But he's finally reached a coach when he's trying to sell, hey, guys, we need to tell everybody our league, it's got a lot of pizzazz. Everything's very important. We got to sell the regular season really matters. And finally, he reached the champion coach of the Celtics who sells Adam Silver's sport the way that Adam Silver, with the enthusiasm that you want to sell your sport in these troubled times.
3-0 against the Knicks this season, all by double digits. Does that tell you anything, especially when you look at the standings?
It means absolutely nothing.
All right. Thank you, Joe Mazzulla. Just absolutely nothing. This guy's becoming one of my favorite coaches. Yeah. He was like annoying at the beginning, but I like what he does with the media. Just means nothing.
He doesn't have any patience for us. And can you imagine that amount of sex in
What?
That amount of success in your early 30s?
I can't imagine all of that.
Turns out more than just criminals lived in Australia, so I'm sorry to
Okay, now we're
Australia.
gonna. You know what? Go back.
I'm gonna be
you
the
know what?
brave,
No.
strong
No,
person
wait
here
a
and
minute.
apologize
No, wait
to
a minute.
Australia.
I hope
Wait a minute.
I hope they aggregate it first. and you get in trouble.
162,000 convicts were sent there, but it was more than just that in the population.
No.
Yeah, there were already people there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like a lot.
Nowadays, they send all their convicts to New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, on a
Kiwis.
Also not true.
All
I
right.
hope you both get in trouble now.
2 minutes right here in the shipping container for trying to leave.
So I stayed.
I didn't understand what that penalty was. I pressed the wrong button. I didn't like my choices. You go.
I'll just stay here.
No, I want you to go to the penalty box, and I want you to apologize to Australia. I want you to
I did.
No, more formally. I want you to go and
actually sorry.
with us. I know, but I want you to be actually sorry while doing a public apology in the other room, surrounded by Australian things. I also want to go into the other room because Matt Kugler, the unassuming Matt Kugler, producer of South Beach Sessions, I'm going to say he bounded into work today. Bounded in, seemed happy, giant smile on his face. And you know, it was at the end of the last segment, and he's like, now that's the heat talk I like. You guys finally showing everybody where it hurts that it's all over. Mike, you underestimate how you've shielded these tears from the audience that desperately wants. If you guys are going to be that annoying for 5 years getting near the finals, you're going to eat it now as you long for other players. And Jessica's going to sit in the middle of it and enjoy Heat Talk for the first time in a couple of years.
I may be the only person that was enjoying it other than Kugler because Jeremy Taché texted me. I'm genuinely embarrassed by them when I think of that analysis being the perspective from Miami that reaches a national audience. You can tell them this on air or off. LMAO.
Okay, I'd like to hear from Jeremy. I rarely say that.
Why would
I
you like to
rarely
hear
say
from
that.
someone that has been wrong for 2.5 years? Every single thing he has said in rebuttal to things that have been said on this show have been wrong, why would you platform him? Moreover, why are we now talking about the Heat for going on 40 minutes when they are as culturally
Can we bring it back to movies? Let's bring it back to movies.
As they have ever been.
It's not 40 minutes, and it's been 20 minutes. And
20 minutes too many. They don't deserve it.
I wanted to talk about the Panthers, and I wanted to talk about Tkachuk being on Jimmy Fallon. But before I do that, near Kugler, I just saw Taylor. And Taylor, I don't know what you guys' experience of Taylor, but I'm telling you that my experience of Taylor is he feels like, because so many people around here who work around here listen to our show for a long time, that he's walking in the middle of the Disney characters, that his daily life is living inside of this thing that's strange to him. And so he's walking around yesterday, and all he's doing is giggling to himself, listening to Stugotz talk about Al Trautwig. Al Trautwig passed away. He's a legend in New York. Al Trautwig, many sports broadcasters will tell you that this is a loss that hurts because we remember how great Al Trautwig was. But out of nowhere, Stugotz had opinions on Al Trautwig, and this is what Taylor was listening to, walking around the office out there after Al Trautwig died. I see Stugotz this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. These are his first words to me. This is good morning to me. Before he says good morning to me, this is what he says. This bleeping guy. Because he's talking about Phil Jackson.
It's so annoying, man.
This bleeping guy.
Yeah. I mean, Dan, he's just an embarrassment. Like, he really is. It's just, like, if you watch the interview last night that he did with Al Trautwig, I believe. It was a fossil, by the way. Anyway, if you...
Why did you take out Al Trautwig?
Trautwig, please. Oh, seriously. Oh, polished Al Trautwig. I got issues with Al Trautwig that go way, way back. Way back. Way back.
Go on.
I just don't like the guy, man. I like him. Never been a fan of his. You know, growing up in New York,
you have issues. You said you had issues.
Not personal issues. I've never been a fan of Al Trautwig. For some reason, like growing up, New York media, I had a list of like the guys that I least liked in the New York media, and he was always at the top of the list. Al Trautwig. Put that on for next year's lie detector question. But Phil Jackson's a complete embarrassment.
Hold on a second. What's the rest of that list look like? Like who the list that you have of media members? No, now you're in.
No.
Now,
give him 10 seconds to make up names on this fake list.
But now you're in. What do you mean? Well, you're the one who decided to just sideswipe for no reason. Al Trautwig.
Yeah.
Al Trautwig. What a great name.
It is. It's a funny name. I mean, just polished, pukey broadcaster, and just a guy whose work I don't know why. I just don't enjoy it that much.
Guillermo, put this on the poll. When I say the name Al Trautwig, do you imagine him wearing a wig made out of trout?
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
That's not.
What a joke by Dan.
Seriously.
Isn't that what you
trout
picture,
wig.
though?
No,
like a wig made of trout?
No, it's a fish wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Right, the trout has the wig on.
Yeah, it's not a wig made of trout. It's a trout wearing a wig.
I thought it was a wig made out of trout. No one's hair is made out of trout. It wouldn't look like a real wig.
But that's what's funny about it. A broadcaster with a wig that doesn't look like it's a real wig because it's made out of trout.
But my dad always wins. The trout wearing a wig is great.
Yeah, because now I got the trout holding a microphone, too.
Yeah, right.
Your dad always wins. I want you guys, because Greg Cody was talking for some reason, I don't know why, earlier. Billy, why did you come back here? Weren't you going to give us an apology, a public apology surrounded by Australia?
Yeah, there was a kangaroo. I pet the kangaroo. I said sorry to the kangaroo.
Okay, so I thought we were going to get like a press conference.
There's no microphone over there. I'll go over there again.
Yeah, well, I just think you have to. I think you have to apologize to Australia because you called the country a bunch of criminals.
Yeah, and then he clarified. He gave stats.
There we
It's a
go.
very old-timey insult.
We got a trout wig up on the screen right now.
I apologize to New Zealand as well.
Again, that doesn't seem like it's sincere.
It is.
You were very eager to take out New Zealand. But before the show, Greg Cody was talking about the SAG Awards and something else that he did, and he's not the only one who does this, but he was yelling about Jane Fonda and how he didn't understand how Jane Fonda, who's 20 years older than him, looks 10 years younger than him.
At least.
And so you were confounded by how healthy she is. Is she 90 yet? She's not.
She's
87.
87. She looks great. She acts great. She dresses
But you'd
great.
be better as an actor. You'd be just as good, right? Because it takes no talent.
It's hard to compare a male actor with a female actor to a certain degree.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not saying I would
Well,
be
men
an
are
all-time.
allowed to age and women aren't. So
Yeah,
yes.
that's exactly right. I'm not saying I would be a great actor. I would be, a journeyman. I would be a working.
Again, we were talking about
actor.
Jane Fonda. You've already.
She's great. Very political. Her speech was what you expected it to be, but I thought she looked fantastic. And Jess was telling me that she's had work done. Okay, but I didn't think it was obvious.
That is a mischaracterization of the conversation that we had.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Look
I'm
at how
sure
great
she
she
has
looks.
had work done, but I wasn't like, yeah, Greg, she's had work done.
Well, you reported it to
Talking
me.
about Hanoi Jane.
I think she looks great for 87. I'm not afraid to say it.
Hanoi is a funny word.
No one is afraid to say she looks great. She does look great.
She looks great.
You're not afraid to say it. What I was afraid of, and it was unpleasant, was it felt like you were ogling her. The whole thing felt uncomfortable to me.
Yeah. Isn't it ogle with a hard O?
Well, you seemed like you had a hard O. Can we see if Billy is ready to do his...
That's pretty good.
Is Billy ready to do his apology here?
Yes.
Okay, Billy, thank you. We are not exactly having you surrounded by all things Australia, but can you apologize? Would you do me the favor of apologizing, please?
To the kangaroo?
That kangaroo's happy to see you.
Just to all of Australia for just being reckless.
Hello, Australia. It's me, Billy. Yesterday or tomorrow, I said something on the show where I insinuated that Australia was founded by criminals, and I, for that, apologize. Only 164,000 of your residents were criminals that were sent there from Ireland and England, and while that number seems immense, I've learned that there are more than 164,000 people that are in Australia. So, also a lot of scary creatures and animals and insects and things that generally you want to avoid. But I'm sure Australia is very pleasant, and hopefully one day I'll be able to visit your great continent, even though it's unlikely because it's like a very long plane ride. And what am I going there to do? See spiders? I doubt it. So anyways, again, yes, and I'm sorry, Australia, for saying that there's a lot of criminals there, even though, them's the facts.
All right, good apology. Well, a good apology until the very end.
Well, we're not going to just pretend that it's not a thing. It's a thing. What are we? I'll apologize. I'm sorry that me stating facts hurt your feelings, Australia.
Okay, this is.
I'm sorry that you are in denial about your history. I apologize to you, Australia, for stating the fact that criminals were sent there by the hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Well, not hundreds, like 164s of the thousands.
All right, thank you,
over
Billy.
a period of 15 years or whatever in the 1700s. I'm sorry, Australia.
All right,
you've made a great opera house, and
Yes.
Finding Nemo was cool.
And Morgan.
She's fine. I'm sorry, Australia.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate you.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Doing yes, and I appreciate it.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike, and look, it's been an exhausting couple of weeks. Even on the show, there's all sorts of debate. Which sport takes it seriously enough? Where's the effort? Let me tell you something. As long as I'm sitting down on the couch and I have a beautiful white can of Miller Lite in my hand, I'm good. I make any sports time a Miller time, and it's the perfect supplement because Miller Lite makes all the moments better with great-tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. It's always the perfect time for friends, family, and a great-tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. The taste that you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. It has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color that we all know and love. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stand to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness and meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.
Don Le Batard.
Greg, how's your birthday going so
I
far?
invented it. It's going fantastic. My wife and I are staying home tonight. We're watching the debate on TV. We're going to do something special for dinner. It's a nice day for me so far.
Stugotz.
That sounds like not a super nice night. The debate.
Old people love that shit.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Old people do love that shit. And I'm old now. I can't deny it anymore.
Now, this is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Can you get for me, please? I don't know if we have the sound of this, but I heard Chris Cody talking about something that is happening right now in both hockey and America that allows the Panthers star, Matthew Tkachuk, who's been a star down here for a long time, has been a star in the sport for a long time, but is now also a champion, an American champion, and a personality. Hockey doesn't do this great in crossing over the language barriers. So many guys fighting through their second language on stardom. When someone's telegenic, when someone can sell the sport, the spirit of the sport, and be a champion, and descends from hockey royalty lineage, so he has the respect of Canada and America, we are seeing something with Tkachuk that is a pretty rare hockey stardom. He was plenty good at hockey before they traded for him. He is now at the center of what represents one of the greatest trades in sports history, and he's on the ascent. So Jimmy Fallon reaches out and is like, explain to me this whole Canada and the United States thing, and now you're crossing over and you're doing the things locally that become national, that become international, so you can be more famous than your family's ever been at this sport. Because you're now winning in real time. We see how hard it is, and you're at the center of everything. But they told me that Tkachuk was great, and Fallon was not. That the questions were very basic. It's sort of like, hey, famous hockey guy, here's America. Want to talk to him? And that Fallon didn't bring out Tkachuk at all.
It was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what I expect there because I think he is doing it to a more broad audience. But if you're a Panthers fan tuning into that interview, it was just, hey, Tkachuk, say the 5 things you're most known for. Hey, you did it. Thanks for joining us. That was great. Tkachuk was fine there. He had good energy. He wasn't nervous, but it was just, I almost felt bad for Jimmy Fallon because it was just like, oh, your dad played hockey. Oh, America, you guys fought. Oh, man, that is so hilarious. Oh, and you scored a goal. Sick, man. Thanks for joining us.
That's pretty much the show.
Yeah, but it's just kind of awkward. If you're a diehard Panthers fan and you were looking for anything there, obviously.
Did he ask about his groin?
Did they sing?
He said, you're currently injured, but you'll be back soon. He's like, yeah, I'll be back soon, I think.
He said soon, I think?
Not soon. It's not soon.
He's like, I'm working to get back, but I love playing for my country. He like turned it to America really quick.
He's going to be out for a while, is he not?
Yeah, he's going to be out for a while.
He'll be back for the playoffs.
And he mentioned multiple times about just the honor it was to wear the USA on his chest. So there were opportunities there for like the serious follow-up, but that's not really a balanced thing.
There's a lot of casual hockey fans, people that are just hockey fans of the Florida Panthers, and they're, I guess, rightfully upset that their star player is now hurt for what was an exhibition tournament. Turned out to be a lot more than an exhibition tournament. It was the first opportunity to play best on best internationally for these players in 11 years. In soccer, country before club. It's always such an honor to represent your country, and it's cool to see that after 11 years that the lure of the crest is not lost, that playing for his country was a huge honor for him. And as a Panther fan, you have to kind of accept that they're going to be playing with high-level intensity and some players can get hurt. Not the only American that got hurt.
Do I have to accept that, though? Because I can espouse that sentiment.
No, you have to accept it. Yeah.
I do?
I don't know if it's because we were there. I'm good with it. Obviously, if he was out for the year, I'd probably think differently. But being there, seeing the emotion of it, you tell me he's out for a couple weeks, like, worth it. This was that important.
You also come off winning the Stanley Cup, so it's house money, right? Like, if you fell short in the Stanley Cup, you blow a 3-0 series lead, and now one of your stars is out because of an exhibition game, you're like, what are we doing here?
Perhaps that frames it, although Florida is still very much a franchise that is competing for another Stanley Cup to go to their third straight Stanley Cup final. But I understand why people are upset about it. I think my perspective on it, because I follow soccer so much and understanding international breaks happen in the middle of the season and often top-tier players pull muscle and aren't available on the club side, that it's just kind of next man up, country before club.
You have said that a couple of times, and I have seen Kevin Durant weep recently when talking about how basketball moved him playing for the United States overseas. And I think that sentiment is anything that can be understood by our audience. However, I thought that the selfishness of the local regional sports fan was such that if my player is injured, and that's a random thing you're doing, half a year, I'm okay. A full year, now I'd have a problem. That's where my patriotism stops. It's if you're going to go all out in hockey and play that intense a game and get all of our attention because you're playing that intensely, you're risking the regular season, the postseason, you're risking the thing that I thought was supposed to be the most important to your team.
Here's where I think there's an understandable frustration. The Boston Bruins came out with a team statement really chastising the training staff. I believe it's a Minnesota Wild training staff that was assigned to take care of Team USA. Chucky was injured. He missed the game against Sweden. And the staff and Chucky all came to an agreement. I'm sure there was communication back to the Florida Panthers. He's going to give it a go. And you could seize on that decision. He was hurt enough to miss a game. We rushed him back. Other players were held out of the tournament. Quinn Hughes wasn't deemed healthy enough by the Vancouver Canucks to go play in this Four Nations competition.
The Sweden game was not important, though. That is a factor.
What happened to Charlie McAvoy is interesting. Charlie McAvoy suffers a hit, then gets some sort of complication that sees him going to Mass General when he was supposed to be in the care of this training staff. They botch it to the point that he has to get admitted to the hospital. So you can have your questions about Team USA's training staff, I guess.
Well, but I'd like to broaden this out for a second without getting too stuck in the mud on this. I understand that you and Chris are giant hockey fans. I understand the moment that I just witnessed where hockey made friendly exhibitions matter in a way that now you guys come home and are like, good, yeah, I'm good with my star missing the next half of the season when there are 10 good teams in hockey and it's going to matter a little bit and it's hard to remain champions, and these guys come back from an event that was all exhibition. I understand the patriotism and the move, but as practicality, Holy shit, if I'm running the Panthers, I don't love this. Tkachuk's always playing hurt. Tkachuk, I need that torso in the playoffs. That torso was not as good in the playoffs when it was hurt, but he plays through everything. For that guy to care that much about exhibition games, I get it. We just witnessed it. It was nice, but my God, is it prisoner of the moment? It's a contrivance. Like, they made that whole thing up for our entertainment.
Yes, but it meant something.
It was a big tournament.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's the first one ever.
All
it
of
was a
it's
big
technically
tournament.
How would we have felt?
entertainment.
How would we have felt if before the tournament, Tkachuk's like, I'm sitting out 4 nations. Don't want to get hurt. I would have been like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
No, you guys would have pretended it was less cool.
Yeah. I don't.
No,
because they had the
wasn't in
tickets
it.
already.
If Tkachuk wasn't playing in the championship game against Canada, I would have been disappointed. Like, tough it out. This is a really huge game for hockey in this country. It would be a huge honor to beat Canada in that sport and secure a championship against them on the international level, best on best. So I'm glad he gave it a go. Unfortunate that he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Thankfully, the Florida Panthers are good enough to withstand this absence. Maybe they make a move before the deadline, but it comes with the territory.
It was a great moment for hockey the past couple of weekends. It was a great tournament. It was made up, but, like, honestly, what isn't made up? Yeah, there's a time Australia was just a landmass, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Look, he just did the Tonight Show.
Killers.
A Florida Panther went on,
Or a USA hockey player.
Yeah,
right.
He
That's kind of where he went.
He went on the Cadillac of late night talk show properties in the Tonight Show.
Is it still?
In terms of fame, the Tonight Show means something. And
do we still make Cadillacs?
I think we did this on my dad's podcast.
Really?
Our Cadillac's still the Cadillac?
Like, beyond just an
cars?
Escalade? What car is a Cadillac? I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
What's the Cadillac of cars these days?
The most common reason for transportation was theft. This included pickpocketing, shoplifting, stealing horses and sheep, highway robbery, housebreaking, and receiving stolen goods. Billy.
What are we talking about? That's Australia?
What do you mean, what are we talking about? That's your wheelhouse. She was supporting your...
I was saying that, like, these are very pickpocketing. You get sent to Australia, and then, like, 300 years later, Billy calls you a criminal.
Yeah. Oh.
Come on.
Well, they don't hear me.
He apologized.
I think twice. I apologized twice. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Go there in person to apologize? Like,
yes, you should do
already.
God Bless Football from Australia with Stugotz.
Well, from what I hear, I might be
You might
doing
have
that.
to, yeah.
Jeez,
God
Louise.
bless Australian
Super
rules
sincere
football is
apology.
more like it.
Ass on.
Operation Boomerang or Operation Bloomin Onion. He is in Australia or on his way to Australia.
You know what crazy thing? I went to Highlight last Friday. An Outback Steakhouse was constructed in 2 weeks.
Really?
In 2 weeks.
Prefab must have been.
I guess, because I was there 2 weeks ago, there was no Outback Steakhouse. I pull in, there's an Outback Steakhouse now. 2 weeks.
Where?
Right in front of the Magic City Fronton. Really? It's incredible. 2 weeks it took for an Outback Steakhouse.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why are you so surprised by this? Are you
because it's taken me a decade to build Freedom Park.
Yeah.
Well, but you knew
We're starting to see bones finally.
Hey, you personally.
we've gotten to the bones.
Yeah.
We all knew this was a bad idea, right? Messi coming down here and us promising him, hey, we'll develop that land for you in a year or two. Like, we all knew what that was.
Why is that
right?
a bad idea? It worked. He fell for the trick.
I know, but Messi knows that he's never going to play in a stadium by a highway near the airport.
How do you
No, if he's here next year, he'll play.
Yeah.
He could be.
Have you driven past it?
We didn't say which Messi also. I mean, his son.
His son's a badass.
He's saving soccer. I may watch soccer.
There you go.
If Messi and all the kids that Messi's playing against all rise to the level of MLS, and that's the competition we're seeing, I may watch. Kid scored 11 goals the other day in a 12-0 blowout. I will watch soccer if one person is scoring 11 goals against the other team. Now, we have to elevate all of the Inter Miami children's and all of the Atlanta FC children's.
Yep, they work hard.
To make sure that these games continue this way. But 11 goals? Come on.
When you see that at the youth level, like 9 times out of 10, that person is a bona fide superstar.
Mm-hmm.
That is just not something that you can fake.
Every time
Scoring
I've
11
seen
goals, that's not. He's not nepoing his way to 11 goals in a game.
I mean, soccer, you know.
You've asked me if I drove past that. When is that going to be built? When did they promise him that
In like
was going
2
to be
weeks.
built?
That thing's going up quick.
It's starting to go up fast. It'll be ready by next season.
Yeah.
Like an Outback Steakhouse.
I would give it a year or two before I actually stepped foot in that thing. Just make sure everything's on the up and up. But
It's supposed
going
to be
up
ready
quickly.
next year.
It's in Miami. You know it's not going to be on the up and up. But you know it's going to be sinking into land. You know that there are going to be airport problems. That there are going to be traffic problems.
The airport thing is so overstated. There's a lot of stadiums near airports. I've been at SoFi Stadium. Like, whoa, it's that close? That's crazy.
We got an alert last week that just like one of our expressways was shut down for an emergency check of an overpass.
Oh, I saw that.
And then
The expressway right next to the studio.
Yeah, the one that we take to get here. And then it's just open again, and there was no update on what they were checking for, what the results of said emergency
and traffic
check
was shut
are.
down for like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? We're good. We're going to open this thing up again. I have no idea what they were checking, what bridge they were checking. I don't know how to avoid these bridges moving forward because they didn't give me all of the information I wanted on a quote-unquote emergency check in which they shut down an expressway because they're not sure if the overpass that they're building is structurally sound.
Look, I know that we've lived in Miami for a long time. And I know that you guys are used to all of the ways and things that we are a banana republic about. But if you think we have a committee somewhere that is competently planning to have Lionel Messi play giant games near the airport in a new stadium without it being a massive clusterfuck that swallows all of South Florida with people trying to get in there, you are out of your mind if you think that's going to be a thing that's well orchestrated so that it's not. It's going to be the Super Bowl the moment he plays in a new stadium down here. You can't put that near the airport in a building you've just built that's surrounded by construction.
Put him 10 minutes away from Boca. It's way more offensive.
They're hiding him in Boca where you can get, there's giant parcels of land over there near the airport. Have you guys seen how hard it is?
You're listening to Billy Corbin.
Yeah, this is 5 seconds away from Doral. Like, this is home.
There was reporting in the Rolling Stone last week that some of the cut positions in the FAA were, quote, lawyers who help keep drunk or reckless pilots out of the skies, employees who track potential new flying hazards like cranes, and staffers in charge of medically clearing pilots. And the flying hazards like cranes did sort of, my ears perked up because this is right next to the airport, and that was one of the reasons that people at the airport and officials were concerned about the location because there's going to be all this tall construction material right next to the runway. But, luckily all of those people may have been laid off now, so they can continue construction.
You guys don't trust our infrastructure in South Florida, do you?
No, less now.
I mean, they've
of
been,
course not.
They've been working on the highways my entire life.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
My entire life.
Government
The
contract.
836 and the 826 have been under construction. So I gotta think they're working on it. They work on it so long that by the time they complete something,
They need to work
they
on
have to
it
work
again.
on a new thing again.
Mike, there's reports like every month that's like a new building has sunk in 4 inches into the ground on Miami Beach.
I'm more worried about
every
that.
month there's a new this building has sunk in so far into the earth. Engineers are shocked, and then there's just never a follow-up.
We have talked about this before. Contractually, it was understood when the Panthers, the champion Florida Panthers, moved into where it is they play in the Everglades, that there would be a sinking into the earth because it's on swampland.
They accounted for it.
Yeah. They accounted for the sinking into the earth. You guys realize what we have in this town with Messi and the Panthers sinking into the earth? Because Messi plays a game the other day in -7 degrees. Greg Cody has been telling you here, and we haven't talked with our soccer expert. Greg Cody has been covering soccer in this market since Fort Lauderdale Strikers, since before Pele was playing for the Cosmos.
Correct.
Greg Cody has been covering soccer in this market. The biggest thing in soccer is in this market. And you and Mike Ryan have placed pressure on Messi to win this season as if it means something, as if the business of Messi isn't just being the business of Messi and cashing in on whatever the end of this is. It doesn't matter whether he wins a championship or not.
Oh, well, it does.
You have to win.
Financially, it doesn't. Have you seen the tweets are already out there of the difference he's made?
Look, not just for Inter Miami, but for the league and for American soccer in general, his signing with Inter Miami is still flabbergasting to me that they got him. And it's a monumental success just from a financial standpoint, unequivocally. What I'm saying is, if you came here to play for an MLS club, be sort of nice to win an MLS championship. Last year, they had the best regular season in history, and they took a big dump in the first round.
That's not much. That's not much. It's not much of a take, though, to say it'd be sort of nice. You said that there's enormous pressure on Messi, and I'm like, no, there's not.
Well, there should be. If Ronaldo came here, he'd win a cup. That's for sure.
I don't it took a while for Beckham to win the MLS.
He's no Messi.
We all
Respectfully.
agree. We all agree that the MLS playoffs, winning that championship, is the one that he's going to be judged against because that's the one that most casual fans understand.
Correct.
But he's been here for a season and a half, and he's won 2 major trophies.
Yeah.
As a member. Yes.
Leagues Cup, major trophy?
I mean, it was the first year, but yes, it was against Liga MX, and they won that knockout tournament.
Debatable. But
it's not debatable that they won.
What's debatable? No. What's debatable?
It's a made-up tournament.
It is.
Between
It's like the Four Nations.
All the tournaments are made up.
It's a similar tournament, right?
All the tournaments are made up. They were wire to wire the best regular season team, which in soccer, that's how you judge who wins a league.
Right.
Historically. Then here in the United States and in Canada, we need to have playoffs because that's how North America gets down.
Right.
Yeah.
Christian Ronaldo is actually what Chris Cody thought his name was.
Christian overrated.
Can you guys explain to me when I ask you the questions of does it matter whether or not there are fans in the building in some future replica of sports that is just all about the streaming? Does it matter if Messi wins anything if they've won the game of getting the stadium built? Like that, Messi's legacy is secure even if he finishes in last place.
They've won 2 trophies. This is a disconnect that I kind of understand because he needs to win the league, and I try to argue that he has won the league, but no, he needs to win the playoffs. Okay, so like he'll win that too. He'll get to that. He's won 2 other trophies. They're in the Club World Cup. They're in the kickoff game against that where they test their mettle against top clubs from all over the world. And that's something that they earn their way in because they won things to get in there. So they've won things of significance here. And if you think he needs to win the MLS Cup, he probably feels the exact same way, and he'll try to win that damn thing.
Right. Well, the Club World Cup, their first match is designed that they're going to win easily. I mean, they play a club from Egypt, which is not a renowned soccer nation.
Do not sleep on those.
Weren't they essentially put in that World Cup because they have Messi?
Yes.
You could argue that. You had Infantino at a game and said, because they've won this and because they have Messi, they're in.
Right.
That's not a direct quote, but it was pretty much.
But don't you guys enjoy the idea, if it's all made up for our televised entertainment spectacle, don't you enjoy the idea that Messi doesn't have to win anything to have already won?
He doesn't have to,
but
he
does.
has.
That's what you guys are missing.
He
does have to win.
What everybody is missing is that he has.
No, what you guys are missing is he hasn't actually won.
There have been 2 times where at the end of something, there's a huge ceremony.
No, in the middle of something.
Out there,
but it's in the middle of a season.
He lifts up a trophy.
It's got to be at the end.
He did do one at the end of the regular season.
And LeBron won the in-season tournament, so he's one closer to Michael Jordan. No one thinks that.
Nobody thinks Inter Miami won MLS last season. They didn't. They had a great regular season. Then they went.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike, and look, it's been an exhausting couple of weeks. Even on the show, there's all sorts of debate. Which sport takes it seriously enough? Where's the effort? Let me tell you something. As long as I'm sitting down on the couch and I have a beautiful white can of Miller Lite in my hand, I'm good. I make any sports time a Miller time, and it's a perfect supplement because Miller Lite makes all the moments better with great-tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. It's always the perfect time for friends, family, and a great-tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. The taste that you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. It has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color that we all know and love. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stand to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness, some meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.